Put the hip shit on the shelf, cause the way the real weapons being real myself. But I haven't seen the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. It's time to switch it up, put the hip shit on the shelf, cause the way the real weapons being real myself. But I haven't seen the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. Money. All you got is not wrong being wealthy. Like Kanye West says, having money is not everything, but not having it is. Deuteronomy 8:18 says God gives us the ability to create wealth. It's the love of money. You don't like money so much, why you get up and go to work? Everybody knows that you're both going to get there. I'm just trying to leave a legacy for money. It's not everything, but when you got it, you can do some cool stuff. And now, your host for Talking Money in the Morning, financial health mentor, the morning class, Mr.
Good morning, Black World, and welcome to Talking Money in the Morning Live with your main man, H. Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the Black community, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur, where I do my absolute best to bring practical yet proven wealth building strategies to working men and women all over this great nation of ours. Truly an honor, privilege, and a blessing to come to you live and direct from the Black Wealth Movement Studios here in St. Louis, Missouri. Guys, what is the Black Wealth Movement? It is a way that you can give yourself a $200 to $600 pay raise on your job without asking your boss, right? We teach real practical financial strategies, entrepreneurship, tax minimization, debt elimination, credit education, and asset accumulation. You guys need to know this stuff if you are going to build generational wealth and break the generational curses in your family. V. Braxton, what's going on, Queen? I see you out there. Black Enterprise Magazine want to know what Black Mama T is all about. So proud of you, Queen. Proud of you. So if you want to know more about the Black Wealth Movement, all you got to do is text Black Wealth Movement to 314-874-6887. Seriously, we will teach you how to minimize your taxes, which is your largest expense. Then you take your tax savings and then you use those to get yourself out of debt. Take that, once you get yourself out of debt, now you have the money that you need to start investing, whether it is in your own business, whether it's other private equity business, whether it is in paper assets, gold, really, that part don't matter. The problem that we're having is getting ourselves in position and freeing up the money we need to start investing. So that's where the Black Wealth Movement comes in. We help you build wealth from scratch. Do me a huge favor. If you're checking us out on YouTube, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We missed our mark again this month, y'all. We're trying to hit 2,000 subscribers on the YouTube, and we are almost there, but not quite. So let me see exactly where we are. Go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not already, and let me see where we are. Right now, we are at 1,942. Guys, come on. 58 subscribers. Let's go ahead and knock that thing out, man. So also let me know where you're from on YouTube. And Alicia said, miss you yesterday. Actually, we do no show any longer on Mondays. For those of you who do not know, we don't. The show is now Tuesday through Friday. My travel schedule is getting very, very hectic. So I just come in and I rest on Monday. So Monday is now an off day for me. So, but Tuesday through Friday, I will be here for you guys. So I appreciate that. I'm glad you were looking for me, Queen. But go ahead and let me know where you're from, the name of your business and brand, so I can give you a free business shout out. Subscribe to the channel. Also interact with the channel on YouTube and my Facebook family. Go ahead and hit the share button right now. That is the cost of admission for checking out Talking Money in the Morning. All you have to do is hit the share button, introduce me to your friends and family. Chances are they want to start their day with something positive, just like you. The way that you combat negativity is you promote positivity, point blank, period, right? They say in order for evil to prevail, all that needs to happen is for good people to do nothing, right? All that has to happen is for good people to do that. If you want that righteousness to stay on your timeline, just keep doing nothing when something positive shows up. Don't like it, don't share it, don't comment it. And guess what? That ratchetness is going to stay on your timeline, right? So make sure that you share the show this morning. And make sure you like the page, Financial Health Mentor, and turn on notifications if you have not already done so. I not only do this show in the morning, but I have a lot of stuff that could help you build wealth and take your finances to another level. Today's show is also brought to you by Financial Health Mentor Bookstore. If you have not already gotten both my books, I want you to go over to books.financialhealthmentor.com. This is listener supported media, guys. I can't do this unless you guys support. Now, I don't do like some radio stations and ask for donations. I'd rather sell you a quality product that you can use, that you can benefit from, and then I will take the profits from those sales and use that to continue to grow the show, grab the equipment that I need, and do everything that I need to stay in front of you guys with some good positive information. So books.financialhealthmentor.com, $37, you get both books, a 1-month subscription to Monetize My Life Academy, and a 15-minute coaching session to help you get off to the right, on the right foot with your finances. Books.financialhealthmentor.com. Let's get into today's content, man, because today is all about business ownership, right? Not necessarily about entrepreneurship. A lot of people don't realize the difference, guys. Everybody can't run a business. In fact, everybody shouldn't run a business. And I am so serious. Oh, I forgot to tell you, if you're in the Cleveland area, I will be in Cleveland this weekend with a wealth seminar at 12:30 Saturday morning. So all you got to do is go on my timeline. As a matter of fact, I'm going to grab that event and plug it in the chat. Do me a favor, guys. Even if you're not in the Cleveland area, I'm going to share this event in the chat real quick. I want you to share it on your page. You might not be in the Cleveland area, but I want you to share this event on your page for me. Is that cool? Is that fair to ask? Even if you're not in Cleveland, there's somebody that you know on your timeline in the Cleveland area, and they are looking to build wealth, right? So let me do that. All right, cool. Let me just share this in the chat really quickly so that you guys have it. And if you don't mind, go ahead and hit the share button or grab this link and share it on your timeline as well. I would certainly appreciate that. But everybody can't own a bit. Everybody can't run a business, but everybody can own a business. So we're going to talk about what business ownership actually looks like and how you, my friend, can actually own a business without having to run a business. But it starts with you getting your money right first, right? So my girl Vanessa Braxton is on, and I tagged her in this post specifically because if you're going to own some business, one of the best businesses to own is a private equity business. And she is about to go public with her business, Black Mama Tea and Cafe, opening up 500 stores all across the nation. And you can buy in and own shares of that company before she goes public, right? I tagged my man Larry Leonard in this post, the owner of Teshuwater, the only Black-owned alkaline water company on the planet. Follow that gentleman. If you want information on the Teshuwater business and opportunity to own shares of that company, then this is how you become a business owner without necessarily becoming an entrepreneur. Now, I'm a fan of entrepreneurship, and I believe that everybody should learn how to run a business, but that might not be everybody's forte. You might not want to grow a business. You might not want to get into branding and marketing. You might not want to get into operations and sales and all of that kind of stuff. And that's cool. But you should be taking some of the money that you're working for today and using that money into, or putting that money into, the ownership of some other company. My bad. Let me turn off these notifications. So it's not difficult. You can own 100 shares of Black Mama Tea and Cafe for $500. That's right, $5 per share. You can own part of Black Mama's Tea and Cafe. Larry Leonard and Tesha Water has different specials going on as he's building the capital to grow that company and take that company public as well. So all you got to do is go to Tesha Water, TESHUATER. Join Cortez now to learn a little bit more about that. There, Vanessa is with the WeFunder link for Black Mama Tea and Cafe. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you the top 10 brokerage companies right now. Thank you. I have shares in Black. So there is a testimony. My girl Body Babazelle says I have shares in Black Mama Tea and Cafe and Tesha Water because of me. So I want you guys to understand something. Because I promoted Tesha Water on this show, a Black-owned alkaline water company, because I promoted Black Mama Tea and Cafe on this show, here is a testimony of Body Babazelle. She owns a piece of both of those companies because I wasn't afraid to open my mouth and promote what my brother and my sisters are doing. Do you understand the power that you have by helping get the word out about what we have going on today? So prices of the shares of Black Mama Tea and Cafe is $5 per share, but you have to buy at least 100. So in the on Facebook, Alex, she just put in the link to wefunder.com where you can go and invest $500 minimum to get 100 shares, and then you can continue to add to your shares there as well. But that and Tesha Water has different programs. I spend $20 a month with Tesha Water, and I get a couple hundred shares with them because they are still in the very, very baby shade stages. So how do you buy shares? I want to talk to you about that in a second. You can click on Vanessa's link to do that, but really to access the market in one way is you want to have your brokerage account. We teach that everybody should have 3 accounts. You should have checking, savings, and a brokerage account. So I'm going to list the top 10 brokerage accounts. And what the brokerage accounts do is they give you access to the markets to buy individual stocks without being an accredited investor, right? But thanks to Vanessa, she taught us that Obama changed the Jobs Act and slipped something in the Jobs Act that says that now startup companies can promote directly to general public in pre-IPO phase. So that is super cool that you're able to do that. So let me talk about the top 10 brokerage firms, and then we'll talk about why it's important that you have your brokerage account. And then we're going to talk about some of the top 10 dividend stocks. And then we're going to talk about the top 10 mutual funds and what this all means to you to become a business owner versus an entrepreneur. Now, again, I love entrepreneurship. I love the challenge of trying to extend and show that I provide value. I'm covering the value to make a sale, to grab a new business partner, to get people to invest in me and what I have got going on. But that might not be your thing. But you're not building wealth in America without business ownership. I want you guys to understand that. You are not building wealth in America without business ownership. You might be able to build wealth without entrepreneurship. You don't have to run the business, but you're not building wealth in America without business ownership. So if you got something to write with, or I give you the sources all the time. So if you go to supermoney.com, they list the top 10 brokerage firms in America. Basically, E-Trade being number 1. And here's the deal. Most people have brokerage firms confused with actual investments. A brokerage firm in and of itself, a brokerage account in and of itself is not an investment. A brokerage account in and of itself is not an investment. But if you do not have a brokerage account, you cannot access the market to buy stocks, right? So you start your brokerage account with one of these companies, and let me give you my disclaimer. I'm not telling you which company to pick. I can't give you advice. I'm not licensed to do that. I'm just reading to you from a website that ranked the top 10 brokerage firms. You have to do your own research. You have to seek and source out a certified financial professional who's licensed to help you in this area. But this website, supermoney.com, has listed E-Trade as number one. Then number two, it has Fidelity. I have an account with Fidelity. Number three, it has First Trade. I've never heard of First Trade, but you guys can Google all of this stuff to learn a little bit more about what First Trade is. And basically what happens is when you have a brokerage account, it's just a place for you to hold money and then make transactions with the market as an unaccredited investor, right? And if you don't know what accredited investor means, it simply means that you need to be making $250K per year, or you need to have a net worth of $1 million outside of your primary residence, right? So this is why brokerage accounts and brokerage firms exist, because most people are not there financially. Most people are not making $250K, and most people are not worth $1 million outside of their primary residence. But the government says these people need to have some access to the market in order to build wealth and, you know, go after the American dream. So they have brokerage firms that will set you up with an account, and they're kind of the go-between between you, the average everyday Joe. The brokerage account will their purpose is to provide education on the market to help you make an educated decision on what stocks you want to buy or what investments you actually want to place your money in, right? So First Trade is the third one. If someone wants to list these in the chat, that would be great. I'll start over from the top. They list E-Trade as number one. Number two, they list Fidelity. These are the top 10 brokerage firms. Now, I'm not going to go into why they listed them in the top 10. People ask me all the time, what brokerage firm should I use? I'm just going to give you a list of 10. You do your own research and you decide for yourself, right? Number three is First Trade, Firstrade, First Trade. Number four is a company called Lightspeed, Lightspeed. Lightspeed is number four. Number five is Merrill Edge, which is actually a Merrill Lynch company. Merrill Edge, MERRILEDG. Merrill Edge is number five. I think that was number five. Number six, this is another one that I use, Options Express by Charles Schwab. That is Options, and then Express is spelled XPRESS. Options Express by Charles Schwab. Options Express by Charles Schwab. All right. Then number seven, Scottrade. Scottrade. This is, I mean, they do a lot of advertising, so you're probably familiar with Scottrade. Number eight, Share Builder. This is a Capital One company. Share Builder. These are just all different types of brokerage accounts that you can have, and you can. I'll talk to you about what you could be doing with these accounts. Share Builder is, I think we're on number eight. Number nine, TD Ameritrade. TD Ameritrade is number 9. And number 10 is a company called Trade King, TradeKing. So we talked about having 3 accounts. You have your checking, you have your savings, and you have your brokerage. While you are in the learn phase, you're saying, Cortez, I don't know the first thing about investing in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, none of that stuff. Doesn't matter. What you want to do is get in the habit of placing money into a brokerage account as you're learning how to invest. So your brokerage account, again, it's not an investment in and of itself. You open the brokerage account. Most of these companies you can open with $0, but they do give you a grace period as to which you need to fund the account. So they might say, okay, you can open the account. It doesn't cost you anything, but you need to fund your account with $100 in the first 60 days or so. Right. So what you do is once you set up that brokerage account, you go to your company's HR department and say you need to adjust your direct deposit. Go to your HR company and say, I need to adjust my direct deposit. You have some direct deposit going into your checking. You have some going to your savings. Now you're going to add your brokerage account. And every time you get paid, you're going to have $20, $30, $40, $50 per pay period going into your brokerage account. Doesn't matter how much. Just get in the habit of sending some money to a brokerage account. Now, you have to take the time to learn about investments, y'all. Take the time to learn. And as you're learning, your actual seed money is steady stacking up in your investment account. And then once you learn about a particular company that you want to invest in, you learn about a particular fund you want to invest in, then you go ahead and make that move. You already got the money there. You just pull the trigger, right? And you start buying these various stocks. Now, what I want to share with you real quick is two things. I'm first going to share with you the top 10 dividend funds. And these are basically companies that you can invest in. You can own a single share. You can own a piece of stock. And the stock itself, the company itself pays a dividend every quarter. This is how rich people get richer. This is how rich people get richer, right? They buy stock in these companies, and then the companies pay a dividend, but they don't receive the dividends. They make sure that the dividends is reinvested to buy more stock, right? So if they own 100 share of stock and the company is paying $5 per share in dividends every quarter, then they're making $500 in that first quarter. Well, guess what? They take the $500 and automatically have it reinvested to buy more shares of that company stock. So every quarter they own more and more and more of that company. You, my friend, can easily set up this to do the same thing. You don't have to run a business to own a business, but in America, you're not building wealth without business ownership. You can build wealth without entrepreneurship, meaning you not running businesses. You don't have to start business and all that, but you're not building wealth in this country without business ownership. You have to invest in businesses because that's where real wealth is created. So let's talk about a few of these dividend funds real quick. And then we're going to talk about some mutual funds. Uh-oh, my dividend page shut down on me. Sandra says, I have a share builder Capital One account. We are the moved to E-Trade by the end of the year. Oh, okay. Okay, so they're being moved to E-Trade by the end of the year. Gotcha. All right, so again, a dividend stock is a piece of ownership of a company that pays a dividend every quarter. Again, I'm going to give you my source. I'm not going to read to you what these stocks are. I'm just going to give you the name of the company. I just want to get you thinking, y'all. I just want to give you some places to go to start listening. And where it says, I pay all bills as well as my TD Ameritrade through bill pay. Easy peasy. Yeah. So if you don't set up a direct deposit, you can set up bill pay with your bank and just say, hey, every time payment comes in or a check comes in, here's where I want to disperse. I want to go to this bill, to that bill. I want to go to this bill, that bill, and I want this bill to be paid, which is who? Me. So he says he pays all of his bills with his bill pay. Well, guess who's first in line to get paid with his bill pay? His brokerage account. See, if you set your brokerage account up like a bill and you say every pay period, I owe this joker $25, who is that joker I'm talking about? Talking about yourself. Every bill, every pay period, you owe yourself. Pay yourself first. Take some money and have it go to your brokerage account, right? So dividend stocks. Let's hit these really quickly. The source is investorplace.com. Investorplace.com is the source, right? So number one, they have AT&T as a great dividend stock. Now, again, I'm just reading to you from a website. I'm not telling you or advising you to go and buy any of this stuff. I cannot do that. This is not the deal. This is educational purposes. I want you to understand that you have to start doing your research and start owning a piece of America, people. You have to own a piece of America, right? So AT&T, good dividend stock, right? 5.7% yield. And my computer will want to start acting up on me. But they've been there. It says their dividend payout has risen every quarter like clockwork since 1984. Since 1984, like clockwork. Number two, Blackstone Group. Blackstone Group. Let's see if it says what Blackstone Group does. I'm not familiar with Blackstone Group. It's an organization that owns and financially supports a variety of other companies, and in some cases gets involved in the management of them. So Blackstone Group is basically a company, kind of like a holding company. They own a lot of other companies, right? Edward says, I worked for AT&T, so that's the first stock I ever bought. And also our competitors, Comcast. Gotcha. All right, so that's a company that owns other companies. And when those companies start doing bad, they jump in and start managing those companies, right? What's up, Lisa D? Hey, new profile pic. I like that. Number three, AmTrust Financial Services. These are companies that pay a good dividend according to this article, right? Again, I can't tell you what to buy. I'm not licensed to do that. So I'm just reading you an article from Investor Place. So AmTrust Financial Services, dividend yield 5.43%. You guys go do your own research on these companies. Let's see, what is the next one? The next one is UBS Group. UBS Group. So basically what you're doing is you got money coming out of your paycheck, or you're paying using bill pay, and money is going into your brokerage account. As it's going in, that money could start building up. And then you say, hey, here's what I want to happen with that money. You can actually set your brokerage account up to say, every time my balance gets to a certain place, I want you to automatically buy this stock. How cool is that? So we're looking at AT&T, for instance. What is, Alex, do you know what AT&T is trading at today? Whatever the cost of an AT&T share of stock is, you can have your money going into your brokerage account, and you can say to set up your brokerage account to say, every time my balance hits this threshold, I want you to automatically purchase a share of this particular stock. Right? So imagine you're doing that, is set up on autopilot. Then you have your dividends automatically reinvested to buy more shares. Man, before you know it, you own a lot of shares of these different companies in America. Another one is Two Harbors. Let's see, what does Two Harbors do? It's anything but a holding name. It's not even a company. It's an investment company organized as a RET, real estate investment, and is an obscure one at that. Don't let obscure fool you. There's a lot of reliability packed into this obscure mortgage. So basically, it's a mortgage backed security. So Lloyd says AT&T is trading at $32.70 today, right? So you can have $50 per month or $50 per pay period going into your brokerage account, and then you can set that brokerage account to say, every time my balance hits $32.70 or $35, I want you to automatically buy a share of AT&T stock or whatever stock that you do your research on and that you pick, right? So Two Harbors is a investment company, 12.11% yield on its dividends currently. That's pretty cool. Iron Mountain is another one that they have listed. These are top 10 dividend stocks, 7.06% yield on their stock shares. Let's see, BP, the oil company BP, which is I still think that's the Rockefellers, right? Is that's still part of the Rockefellers legacy and dynasty? BP Oil. 5.6% yield. So we're talking about companies that you can own that pay a dividend. You don't have to, obviously, you're not going to go and run these companies, but you can own a piece of them and really build each and every one. It says everyone can check yahoofinance.com to get stock info. Yep, appreciate that. Wealthy artist in the building. Let's see, what's another one? I apologize, my computer is just a little slow. We're talking about business ownership, guys. Yes, you should be investing in Black Mama Tea and Cafe. Yes, you should be investing in Tesha Water and any other Black-owned startups that are positioning themselves to go public. But if you don't have that money, start putting that money into a brokerage account so that you can start building the reserve to actually jump out there and do some of this stuff. Southern is another company. What is Southern? I don't even know what Southern is. But I think you guys are getting the picture. But I want to share with you one last group of stocks, right? Actually, mutual funds. And I want to show you, this is the real reason that you probably want to be having some money that goes directly over to Southern Co. Look like it's a utility company. Utilities company, Southern Co. All right, so we won't get through the whole list because my computer is slowing down. I need to shut down some of these windows. But let me go into mutual funds, right? I'm gonna give you the definition of a mutual fund real quick. Because if you are smart, then you could be using your brokerage account to build a fund so that you can then invest in a mutual fund. A mutual fund is an investment strategy that allows you to pool your money together with other investors to purchase a collection of stocks, bonds, or other securities that might be difficult to recreate on your own. This is often referred to as a portfolio. Guys, I want you to understand something, because I talk a lot about what we teach you in the Black Wealth Movement is how to get double-digit returns on your money. And a lot of people are like, Cortez, that doesn't exist, man, unless you're uber wealthy. I want to give you a few funds. And I started to set this up this morning through Zoom so I can show you my screen share, but I got a late start this morning. Once I start putting this together and I had the idea to do screen share, I just kind of ran out of time. So I had to just jump on and go live. But if you want to look at a list of the top mutual funds, go to Kiplinger.com. It might be Kiplinger, but Kiplinger.com. They listed the top 10 mutual funds in every category. We're just going to go over a couple of the categories. And guys, when I'm looking at this stuff, the lowest annual interest rate that I see is 9%. I don't see any 7s. I don't see any 6s. I don't see any 4s, any 3s like you're going to see at your bank. This is how wealthy people get wealthy, right? This is how wealthy people get wealthy and stay wealthy. So I'm looking at a few different charts of some funds that are 20 years old. And I'm looking at the average return over 20 years. Why 20 years, Cortez? Because if this fund has averaged 13.66% over 20 years, it's safe to say that they're probably going to stay somewhere close to that for the next 20 years. And remember, a mutual fund is a collection of stocks, bonds, and other securities. So it's already diversified for you, right? So right now I'm looking at 20-year average top 10 mid-sized company stock funds. What this means is these are funds that are already diversified and you own stocks in a lot of different companies when you own a piece of this fund. So remember, you're pooling your resources with other investors to own a portfolio that's well diversified and that's professionally managed. What does that mean, Cortez? You can take the time to learn how to research a company and determine whether or not that company is solid for you to invest in, right? Or you can take the time to learn about one company, which is one of these companies that owns one of these funds, learn about their management style, learn about their management credentials, learn about their track record and say, hey, I'm going to give you my money and let you manage it for me. It's the same thing. I use this analogy all the time. You can become a good free throw shooter yourself. And you can practice, get your technique down, hire a shooting coach, and you can really take your shooting to another level if you want to, right? You can actually do that. On the other hand, you can also hire a Steph Curry to shoot your free throws for you, right? You can hire a Steve Kerr to shoot your free throws for you. These guys are career 90, 91, 92% free throw shooters. Does that make sense? So while buying individual stocks is you doing the work yourself, it's you getting as best as you could yourself. Buying into mutual funds is you hiring a professional to do it. My mentor puts it this way. He says, when you look at hiring a fund, you think of yourself as an NFL owner, an NBA team owner. You own the team. First thing you have to do is go out and buy or find you a good general manager. That is the company. That is the mutual fund company, whether it's Vanguard, Fidelity, T. Rowe Price, right? These are mutual fund companies. Now, it is the general manager's job to go and hire a good coach. That would be the individual fund manager. So you hire a general manager. That is the fund company. That is Vanguard. That is Prudential. That is T. Rowe Price. Then your general manager hires a coach. And then that coach would be the individual fund manager. And then that coach will work with the general manager and go out and find players. That would be the individual companies that your money is invested in. Does that make sense? Is that better, a better analogy for you to understand how this whole thing works? So I'm looking at mid-sized company stock funds over 20 years, and I'm just going to give you some of the returns that they've averaged over 20 years. Kinetics, internet, no load. And I don't know what that means, so don't even ask, right? But I do know this. 20 years, their average is 13.66% return on investment annually. Hartford Midcap. Now, Hartford is another one of these companies that you can hire, another one of these general managers that you can hire, right? They have a Midcap A fund that has, over the last 20 years, averaged 12.1%. Meridian Contrarian Legacy is a fund, average 11.67. Artisan Midcap, 11.58. Pioneer Select, 11.53. JP Morgan Midcap, 11.37. Hennessy Focus, 11.28. Royce Heritage Investment, 10.78. Hotchkins and Wiley Midcap, 10.67. CRM Midcap, 10.61. And those are the top 10 mid-cap mutual funds, right? Are you guys starting to get and starting to see how you could be growing some money? Now, here's the caveat with most of these funds. You cannot get into these funds with less than $2,500. This is why you have your brokerage account set up and you have money just automatically going over there every time you get paid. That thing hits $2,500. Now you come over here and you pick one of these funds and you have the $2,500 invested, and then you continue to contribute to it monthly. And just imagine if you have $2,500 and it's growing at 13%, right? It's growing at 13% over the last 20 years. And you keep adding $100, $200, $300 per month to it. How long does it take for you to become a millionaire? It's sickening how we are not even in the ball game when it comes to this stuff. And this is why I do what I do every day. We've got to get in the ball game, right? I'm going to go over the large cap real quick, and then we've got to get out of here. These are large companies. These are funds that only invest in the biggest companies in the world. Before we did the mid-sized companies, but these are large companies. These are your AOLs and Time Warners. These are your Microsofts and Googles. These are your AT&Ts. These are the largest companies in the world. These funds are investing in, and I'm going to give you the 20-year average for these companies. You get to the 20-year. All right. So Vanguard has a fund called Capital Opportunity. Over the last 20 years, it has averaged 13.58%. You think it's going to continue to do pretty good? You think Vanguard knows what they're doing when it comes to managing and growing people's money? Transamerica has a Capital Growth A fund. It has averaged 12%. CGM Focus, 11.46%. Calamus Growth, 10.58. Vanguard Prime Cap, 10.2. Fidelity New Millennium, 10.2. Amana Group, 10.1. Fidelity has another. So Fidelity has two funds in the top 10, both earning more than 10% return. Then Quaker Strategic Growth, 9.7. And then Principal Capital Appreciation, 9.7. Tito says 12 years, you become a millionaire if you're putting money in consistently in that fund, right? So this is why I do what I do, y'all, because it literally sickens me that we're not the richest group of people on this planet. The way that we know how to get money, it's time for us to learn what to do with the money when we get it. Do y'all agree that we some of the money gettingest people on this planet? And if that be the case, why are we also the brokest people on the planet? Come on, who agree? We are some of the money gettingest people on this planet. At the same time, why are we the brokest people on this planet? Because we haven't yet learned what to do with all that money that we consistently get our hands on. This is why the Black Wealth Movement is so important. And if you have not joined the movement yet, or a movement similar that's going to help you take your finances to another level, that's going to help hold you accountable for learning this kind of information on a regular and consistent basis, that's going to hold you accountable to not only learn it yourself, but teach it to your children and your family and in your community, we need the Black Wealth Movement, y'all. And I need more of you to get involved with the Black Wealth Movement so you can build wealth for yourself and help us spread the word of financial literacy in our community so all of us can start building multi-generational wealth. Did I go over anything today that seems like rocket science out of your league? Did I help you understand that this stuff is a little bit more palatable than most people have led you to believe? Right? Is this making a little bit more sense to you? I know this stuff has been intimidating to some. It was intimidating to me for a long time. And then somebody set me down and said, Cortez, this stuff just requires you to learn a different language. The language of money is a little bit different. Some of the same terms you've been using all your life, they mean something different in the world of money. If you learn this terminology, Cortez, you will see that this stuff is easy as ABC 1, 2, 3. This stuff is easy as ABC 1, 2, 3. You just have to take the time to first learn the language, learn the terminology. It's not hard, y'all. It's not hard. It's worth doing. It's very simple stuff, but you have to put time, energy, and focus into it. You get what you focus on. Dare I ask, what are you focused on today? You get what you focus on. Dare I ask, what have you been focused on today? Right? Look at your life. Look around and ask yourself, what do you want? And then ask yourself, why don't you already have it? You get what you focus on. Now ask yourself, what is it that you really want? And then ask yourself the gut punch question, why don't you already have it? Chances are you haven't been focused on what you really want. You've been focused on everything else but that. It's the only reason you don't have what you want. The only reason I'm not a billionaire now is because for the first 40 years of my life, I focused on everything but becoming a billionaire. Starting to shift my focus day by day, little by little, and focus more and more and more on the things that I need to be doing to get what I really want out of this life. And I would encourage you, my friends, to do the same thing. So if you're serious about joining the Black Wealth Movement, all you got to do is text Black Wealth Movement to 314-874-6887. I love to hear from you and help you get started. And what's holding you back? If you haven't joined the Black Wealth Movement and you listen to me every day, what's holding you back? Why haven't you joined? I like to hear that too. Maybe it's something that I'm not doing right. Maybe I'm not communicating what the Black Wealth Movement is and where we're going effectively enough. I like to hear from you, right? Text Black Wealth Movement to 314-874-6887. Do not forget, this is listener-supported media. I cannot do this without your support. I don't beg for donations, but I do offer quality products that you can purchase, and every purchase you make helps me stay on the air. Every purchase you make helps me continue to do what it is that I'm doing. So go to books.financialhealthmentor.com to grab yourself a book bundle. I promise you, it will help you in the way you think about money. And when you shift the way you think about money, you will then change the way you behave with money. And always remember this: if you're still working hard for every dime you get, that's nothing to be proud of. I'm gonna say it again. If you are still working hard for every dime you get, that is nothing to be proud of. That's a sign that you're financially illiterate. That's a sign that you have yet to learn how to get money working for you. It's okay to work hard for some of those dimes, but if you're working hard for every dime, that's not good. That's not good. Right? So learn how to put some of that money to work for you, and the Black Wealth Movement will show you how to do that. I'm H. Cortez, financial health mentor to the Black community, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur. Until I talk to you next time, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every one of you. Peace out, y'all.